standing here for Biz News 2013. In Biz News, we explore, we discuss, and we explain about the current economic issues that are happening around the world. IMF is a financial institution that claims to help those countries who are in need. But today, it is still questionable whether IMF is really helping those countries or IMF is burdening them. Before we go further into IMF, let's go and look at students' perspective on IMF, whether they really know about IMF or not. So, let's go and hear from Mas in IIUM for further stories.
Thank you, Raid. Hi, I'm Mas. Last week, our team have been to International Islamic University Malaysia, and with us, a group of students on whether they know or even heard about the IMF. Now let's see how they respond.
What do you know about IMF? What do you know about IMF?
Okay, in detail, nothing.
Hi, do you know what is IMF?
Have you ever heard? I just heard the name. I only know the name. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
What do you know about IMF?
pretty much nothing. I never heard of IIM.
We can see that not many students know about the IMF. We here in Biz News will reveal to you what IMF is all about.
International Monetary Fund, IMF. How and why was it established? Let's go back to 1930. The world faced Great Depression. Countries attempt to shore up their failing economies by raising barrier to foreign trade and devaluing their currencies. This attempt proved to be self-defeating. The world trade declined sharply. This breakdown in international monetary cooperation led the IMF founders to plan an institution charged with overseeing the international monetary system. In 1986, IMF created a new concessional loan program called the Structural Adjustment Facility. The SAF was succeeded by the Enhanced Structural Adjustment Facility in December 1987. However, this had led to international debt crisis. This is due to variable or floating interest rate. IMF realized that nobody would benefit if country after country failed to repay its debt. One significant example is in 1997, an Asian financial crisis, a wave of financial crisis, swept over East Asia, from Thailand to Indonesia to Korea and beyond. Almost every affected country asked the IMF for both financial assistance and for help in reforming economic policies.
Hi, I'm Mas. Today with us, we have a very much known person in the financial industry. Let us welcome the Managing Director of IMF, Aisha Lagarde. Hi, Aisha. Hi. So, you have been the Managing Director of IMF since 5th July 2011.
Yes.
So, can you please share with us what is the success story of IMF? So that people outside can also know what IMF has been accomplished so far.
Okay, IMF is a successful institution that helped many countries to finance the economic crisis and monetary crisis. Jordan is one of the successful story of IMF.
About what IMF has accomplished. I hope that IMF will continue to help people more in the future. With that, thank you so much Aisha Lagarde for spending your time here with us in Biz News. Currently, one country is having a heavy financial crisis. Now let's get into their story.
Guys, What is this? This is full of crap. Our financial position have a lot of debt. I want you to explain about these issues.
It is true that we have a huge debt. It has been 3 years and we still can't afford to recover those debt back.
Not only that, sir, 100 companies went bankrupt due to this economic crisis.
I want a solution for this. Give me a solution, not excuses.
Don't worry, sir, we already found a solution.
Yes sir, we already invited someone very important that may help our country. Here she is.
Don't worry, guys. I am the solution. I'm Aisha Lagat, the Managing Director of IMF. I'm here to tell you the importance of IMF in international business. Firstly, it promotes international money, cooperation and collaboration, facilitate the expansion and balanced growth of international trade. Then it promotes exchange stability, develop multi-trade and payment, also help members countries and ensure that they have enough foreign exchange to continue to do business with the rest of the world.
And that is how IMF approaches those countries who need the financial help. For more interesting stories, we will get back to Raid in the studio.
Welcome back everyone to the Biz News studio. Thank you very much Mas for the very interesting story about IMF. And now we will begin our next session with our respectful guest, Professor Dr. Bushra Khalid. How are you, Doctor?
Fine.
Fine. Doctor, I would like to ask you something about IMF. Actually, how IMF impacted Malaysia, especially during the Great Depression in 1997.
Thank you, Raid, for the question and thank you for inviting me here. Frankly speaking, Malaysia didn't have any direct impact from IMF. This is because our beloved Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir, refused to accept any financial assistance from IMF despite the economic crisis during 1997.
Oh, so you mean that Malaysia actually didn't receive any money from IMF?
Not even a single cent.
That is awesome. But can you explain more how Malaysia actually survived during the Great Depression?
Fantastic question, Raid. That is why I'm proud to be Malaysia. We took a different path. Instead of going to IMF, the Malaysian authorities imposed sweeping control on capital account transaction. That is by setting fixed exchange rate at 3 ringgit and 80 cents per US dollar. That rate represents a 10% appreciation relative to the level at which the ringgit had been trading immediately before the controls. They cut interest rate and embarked on a policy repression. Malaysian excellent policies produced faster economic recovery, smaller decline in employment and real wage, and more rapid turnaround in the stock market.
Oh, that is so brilliant, Professor. What about other countries? How actually IMF impacted them?
There are lots of countries that are impacted by IMF. Some are thankful to IMF because they survived the economic crisis with the assistance of
IMF is International Monetary Fund. It is like a modern day loan shark.
Have IMF affect your life in any way that?
Yeah, of course, it is affecting me. I'm from Bangladesh, so they are offering loan to my country. So whenever they offer any loan, they give several kinds of conditions. Oh, you do this, you cannot do this, you do this, and they take the interest. So I have seen one thing, the country who is taking the loan from IMF, the financial condition of that country is not being developed.
If you look at example in 97 during the Asian financial crisis, among the countries that really borrowed, among Asian countries that really borrowed from IMF is Indonesia. The problem with getting loan with IMF is that not only that they will impose a very high interest rate, but also they will ask something in return. Like in Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken, they demanded that if Indonesia government really want to take IMF loan, they have to change certain positions in the government so that they can really enter the government.
Oh, thank you very much, Professor, for your time. We from Biz News are very happy to have you here. And thanks again, Professor.
You're most welcome.
That's all from us. I'm Ray Omar reporting from Beast News and see you next week.